What's up guys, Event right here. Today we're going to do another how to play Unstable Unicorn game video. Today we're going to be doing it over the Christmas special expansion pack. So I picked this up, I don't know if it came out this Christmas. I haven't seen it before when I looked at the packs that were available, so I think it's pretty new that it came out this year. And since it's around Christmas time and my Unstable Unicorns video, I wasn't planning on being a game channel, but it literally has like 4 times as much views as any of my other stuff that's even close to it. So I figured I'd get this because me and my girlfriend play this game all the time anyways, and we're always looking to get more cards. We did get the not safe for work version with the adult cards. We might do a little overview for that, but in the meantime I just wanted to show you guys what comes in it. So we have wow, I know Mariah Carey is getting her money. Mariah Carey corn. I wish they would have made this an ability, since Mariah Carey is basically a Christmas meme, but she's just a basic unicorn. We have a llama corn, basic unicorn, silly chili unicorn, basic, procrastinating shoplifter. Okay, so we have our first magic unicorn. So let's see what he is. When this card enters your stable, you may discard a card and look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Add one of them to your hand and discard the other 2. This is a pretty good card, especially since you get to look at the top 3. So you know what the next 2 people after you have. Oh no, actually you discard the other 2. So that'd be pretty cool if you knew what the next 2 people have. But you get to pick any of them. So if there are any other good cards, you can discard them and come up with a plan on how to get those in the future. We're gonna put that in the good deck pile. Unicorn Caroler. Each time another player plays a nade card, when you try to play a card, that player must give you a card. That is awesome. I put this in the good deck, but I'm gonna put this in the awesome deck. That is an awesome card. Although nades don't come up too often, but the fact that a person knows they're gonna have to give you a card when they nay you can be a little intimidating, at least. Why does the snowman have a big horn at the top? They just make anything a unicorn on here. If this card is in your stable at the beginning of your turn, you may draw a card. If you steal or destroy another card, sacrifice. Dang, okay. I guess that's like a double-edged knife or a double-edged sword. Is that the expression? Anyways, you can draw a card every turn, but you can't steal or destroy other cards. And I can see that being a little bit of trouble. So I'm gonna put this in the other pile because I don't see that being useful very much at all. Okay, flying Krampus corn. I've never seen any Krampus movies, but I know enough about him to get this card. It's pretty funny. When a card enters your stable, you may steal a baby unicorn. If this is sacrificed or destroyed, return it. Okay, so if Krampus gets destroyed, they get the kids back at the end of the movie. I say this is pretty cool. There's a, in the adult version, there's a free candy van card that is basically a reskin version. That's one thing I don't like. If you buy more than one of these sets, a lot of them are just reskinned, like they're reflavored cards of the same card. Like they'll be like, the card will be exactly the same, but they'll give it another name and new art, which I mean is interesting, but when you pay for, the game is $20. If you pay $15 for the expansion pack, you don't want to pay for the same content that you're already getting. It makes no sense how they do that sometimes. Winter Wondercorn. Each time an upgrade card enters your stable, draw a card. I say that's pretty cool, but unless you're like a heavy upgrade player, I don't see that coming into effect anymore that often. So I mean, I usually play maybe 2-3 upgrades a game. So you're getting 2-3 cards. I mean, it's better than a basic unicorn. The ability is cool. I just don't see it as amazing as these other 2. And then the Krampus card, I mean, you get 1 free baby. So, I mean, that's cool, but I don't think it's amazing like this Caroler card. So I'm gonna put it in the good pile. Not so secret Santa corn. When this card enters your stable, you may look at the top 2 cards of the deck, add one of them to your hand, and give another to another player. Yeah, we're gonna put that on good. I mean, it's not as good as discarding the cards like we got to do earlier. Now, if you get 2 good cards, you have to give the other player one of those cards, and that sucks. So I'm gonna put it in the good, because you get to keep a card, but you do have to give it to. But if you're playing with multiple people, I guess you can give it to whoever is losing. So there's always that. Helper Alphacorn. If this card is in your stable at the beginning of your turn, and you have 4 or fewer unicorns in your stable, you may draw a card. This is going to be an amazing card if you play it early in game. So when you have 4 or lower unicorns, like I said, early in game, that's going to be pretty amazing. Festive Flying Unicorn. When this card enters your stable, you may pull a card at random from another player's hand. This is basically a better Flying Annoying Unicorn, and there's the Flying MF Unicorn in the adult version where you have to force another player to discard a card. This is better because instead of forcing the other player to discard the card, you actually get to take it from them instead. And I'm going to say that's amazing because also it has the if sacrificed or destroyed, it goes back into your hand. Not only do you get to take a card from another player, instead of forcing them to discard it, you get to keep that card. So they have to discard a card and you get to keep the card. Okay, now this is getting a little too much. An elephant now. When this card enters your stable, you may move a downgrade card from your stable to another player's stable. This is basically pretty cool because there's not enough ways, I feel like. Sometimes you just get screwed with a downgrade card where you don't get retarget or you don't get the Alphacorn one, the one that when it enters your stable it destroys all downgrades, or the reset button. So I think it's always good to have more ways to get rid of those downgrades because a lot of them suck. Nutcracker corn, baby unicorns in your stable cannot be sacrificed, stolen, or destroyed. That's pretty situational. I'm gonna put it in the good pile because it is good because those baby unicorns don't come back; they go back into the nursery. But I say it's pretty good. A lot of people will target your baby unicorns just because they know it goes into the nursery, so there's no way for you to get that back. We have a gift receipt. Move a card in your stable to another player's stable and pull a card from that player's hand. This is amazing because it can also work for downgrades, so that's pretty cool. And you get to take a card from that player's hand, so that's awesome. I don't know what other situation you would use it for. I mean, you wouldn't move a basic, and it's not a trade, so I don't see it being used anywhere but in a downgrade. And then we have another gift receipt. We got 2 of those, so that's awesome. Silver lining, the house is on fire, but at least you found your present. Is that a cat? I guess it's one of those kitten horns. Sacrifice a card, bring an upgrade card from your discard pile to your stable. I'm gonna say this is amazing, especially if you use it strategically where you sacrifice one of your cards that goes back into your hand. You can just sacrifice that card, it goes back into your hand. You can replay that card and you get to pick an upgrade card from the discard. And we got 2 of those silver linings, so it seems like they knew what they were doing. And we have Nog Wild. Discard any number of cards from your hand and draw the same number of cards. Take another turn. I'm going to say this is amazing because if you're in a situation where you want to discard your whole hand, it's going to be worth getting a brand new hand. And you get to take another turn after that. So I'm going to say that's amazing. We got another Nog Wild here. We got Oh Dear. All of your unicorns are considered reindeer. Cards that affect unicorn cards do not affect your reindeer. See, this is the same downgrade. This is the same one. There's the panda one, and then there's Blinding Light. Literally, this will be the 3rd version of this card that I have. So like I said, I hate that they reskin the same cards over and over. But I am going to say this is amazing still, just because that downgrade, I've been in games where someone has that downgrade and they've lost the game because they were never able to get rid of the downgrade. The goal of the game is to get 6 or 7 unicorns, not 6 or 7 reindeers or pandas or basic. I mean, one of them, actually Blinding Light makes your card basic unicorns. So that one's not as bad as the other one because you can still win with unicorns. But it's still the same, it's the same premise if you know what I'm saying. Like they just reskin the same card. Uneaten Fruitcake, you cannot win this game if uneaten fruitcake is in your stable. Wow, this is pretty cool. It just basically buys you time while they have to get rid of this downgrade. But with them adding more ways to get rid of downgrades, this may be not as efficient as they might think. But if you're playing with a lot of players, this is going to be amazing because it's going to be pretty hard for you to get one of those cards that gets rid of downgrades. And you could have everything you need, but if you don't have anything like that, I'm going to put it as amazing just because it'll allow you to buy time. especially late in the game. And it gives us 2 of those. It's as if it knows which cards are good and which aren't. So Humbug, Magical Unicorns cannot enter your stable. This is basically a more refined Queen Bee one, because there's the Queen Bee card where basic unicorns can't enter anybody's stable but the person who has Queen Bee, and this one is going to be a more direct attack against somebody. I'm going to say it's amazing just because basic unicorns are boring. So, I mean, you could have an amazing magical unicorn, but you can't play it while that card is in your... I mean, you can play it, but no, actually, you can't play it. You can't play it at all, so that's that's whack. Each time you steal or each time you steal or destroy a card, discard a card. I'm gonna say that's pretty useful actually, because stealing and destroying unicorns is most of the game. So you know that if you steal a card, you're gonna have to discard a card. A lot of times you have a basic unicorn that you don't mind burning though, but I still say that's a great card. If this card is in your stable at the beginning of your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of the deck, then return them in any order. That's pretty cool. Not amazing though. I would actually put it in the okay. I mean, you get to do it every turn though, so it's not a one-time thing like a unicorn. I'm gonna put it in the good pile, just because you get to do it every turn, so you can kind of manipulate who's coming up after you. I mean, if you're playing 2-player, like me and my girlfriend do sometimes, then that would be an amazing card because you can basically determine what card the other person gets every turn, and you know what card they have every turn because you're the one giving them that card. If you're playing on a 2-player game, that card is amazing. And they gave us 2 of those. This is probably the first 2 card thing that I've gotten that I put in the good pile instead of the amazing. But like I said, if you're playing 2-player, I can see that as being amazing. Each time a unicorn enters your stable, you may draw a card. That's pretty cool, especially since you're doing nothing but putting unicorns down. I'm gonna put that as amazing. Ugly holiday sweater. Your unicorn cards cannot be stolen. That's pretty cool. It's going to be like Rainbow or your unicorn cards can't be destroyed. Packing those together is pretty great. So your cards can't be destroyed or stolen. People steal cards all the time, so I'm going to put that in as amazing. And that's pretty much all we have on the cards, guys. So we have the Jingle All the Nay. These are going to be the Nay cards right here. Baby unicorns, baby unicorns. Unicorns. So as far as how to play portion, I'm going to recommend playing these cards as far as strategy goes. So these would be the 2 upgrade cards I would try to get out of this set at least. And then these would be the downgrades that I would recommend. We got a decent amount of downgrades in this deck. Basically, I like these because they're Christmas themed. Like I said, that one's not brand new. I like this implementation that keeps them from winning the game. I also like this because, like I said, it's a more refined Queen Bee. And then I like this too because it kind of forces the other player to be on their best behavior. Otherwise, they'll have to discard a card. So those are pretty cool. This magic card is also pretty cool. It's a gamble basically because if your hand if your hand is that bad that you would get rid of your whole hand, this is going to be super useful. This, like I said, this paired along with a card that goes back into your hand, super useful. Move a card in your stable from another player's stable, then pull a card from that player's hand. That's awesome. You get to steal a unicorn and a card. That's amazing right there. And then these would be the good cards right here as far as unicorns go. You can move a downgrade, so this is going to be like a unicorn retarget basically. Instead of destroying the downgrade, you get to take it and give it to someone else. This one lets you draw a card as long as you have 4 or lower unicorns. That's awesome. Pair that with Tiny Stable. Say you get stuck with Tiny Stable where you can't have more than 5 unicorns. If you have that, at least you can pull cards and keep playing magic cards. Festive Flying Unicorn. This one's awesome because, like I said, you get to pull a card at random. And then Unicorn Caroler is also pretty cool. If they play a nay on you, you can force them. They have to give you a card. That's pretty awesome. So, as far as my thoughts on this, we got 38 cards. Didn't really need more nay cards or baby unicorns. I feel like they just put that in there as fluff. But as far as how many good cards we got out of 38, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 amazing new cards out of 38. And I don't really need more nays. This was $15, which I don't think $15 is that bad. But when you think about how the game itself is $20 and you get like 200 cards for $20 versus 38 for 15, the value really isn't there to me. And there's nothing in these cards that you can't live without. There's just a lot of flavor here. And I like the flavor. So if you were asking me whether I think you should get these cards, I would say pass unless you really love this game like I do and you want to add more cards to your collection and more flavor to it. But yeah, as far as the overall quality, I mean, we have these great cards over here, and there weren't really many that I said I didn't like. I just don't think the value is there for $15 when you can get the whole game for 20. In fact, when I was getting these, I saw that what is that game? Llamas Unleashed. The people who make Unstable Unicorns, they may have another game called Llamas Unleashed, and that game, the whole game was for $13. So I could have bought a whole nother game instead of this supplement for the original game. And I don't know much about Llamas Unleashed. It looks pretty much the same, so I've never gotten it. But I'm just saying, you could have bought a whole nother game for the price of this. So I don't think the value is quite there. But as far as the quality is amazing. So if you guys wanted to know if you should get this bundle, I'm going to link it in the bottom of the description. And that's pretty much all I have to say on this Unstable Unicorn supplement. This is Event Array, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.